welcome to Comics News Today. My name is Chester C. Busby III, and I am, of course, joined by the Denali Lama. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Lovely night, warm weather, no snowing, fortunately. I know that everybody else is having dreary, but over here it's nice.
Oh, that's good to hear. And of course, I am joined by our most excellent and superior pie expert, Booster from Down Under.
It is me, Busa, and I am from down under. These are all factual facts.
Yes. How does it feel living upside down? I've just always been curious.
I don't have an opinion on it.
No, no.
No.
Yeah. Well, of course, if the Earth is actually flat, then you're not actually upside down, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with flat Earth today.
Okay, there
So
we
I'm
go.
not upside down. I don't like the idea of being upside down at all, to be honest.
No, I wouldn't either. So, yeah, what do you think on that flat Earth thing? Actually, I was just joking offhand, but that is a interesting little conversation. I love all those conspiracies. Not, I don't care if they're true or not, but they're just fun, you know.
Oh, it's bloody silly. Why would
Yeah.
we even lie about that? Is the question.
Oh well,
I don't get it.
there's always reasons to lie about something, you know. But
Yeah.
no, I love those conspiracies. I think they're funny. But anyway, of course, we got to get into all of our links down below, and the first one we have there is for our fan speak on Facebook, and of course, we appreciate everybody being part of that. And if you're not part of that, please go over and check it out and become part of it. Also, we have my contact information on Facebook and Twitter, and you can go over there and you can tell me that you want to be on the show here because this is Fan Speak, right? It's Comics News Today as part of the Fan Speak Comics, and we are. Want to have the voice of the people. So, get over there and get involved and tell us you want to be on. But also, you can go over there and let me know if you want to be on the Drawn Recorded Fan Edition, things like that. Of course, contacting Big Pixel is just as good. We also have our Anchor podcast there, if that's something you're into. And we also have our donation buttons if you feel like donating to the giveaways and stuff that we want to do in this channel. Well, other than that, Denali, I think we have a little bit of news about this week's Bugbear's Basement. Why don't you tell people about that?
Yeah, we're going to read Doom Patrol issue 121 of the original run. So from the 1963 run, issue 121 of Doom
It's
Patrol.
gone well back.
It
Yeah.
is. That's way back. Yeah. And why did we decide to go with the such old version of Doom Patrol?
Well, first is the original run. Second, there's some controversy because the creator of Doom Patrol said, that Stan Lee stole his idea for X-Men because it's a man in a wheelchair using misfit teens or, people with superpowers.
Well, yeah.
And so there's a lot of X-Men, and it's the issue where the original team is killed off.
Oh, well, there you go.
Comic teams always stealing from each other. That's just that's just a fact of comics.
Right. So it's kind of interesting to see that DC was the first one, apparently, that came up with the idea for that.
Well, it is interesting to point out. Of course, comic book fans kind of know that kind of stuff, but maybe people who aren't big on DC or reading the older comics don't know that. So it is interesting to talk about, and actually, it's quite a fun comic book as well. You ever read it, Booster?
Oh, which one? The original Doom Patrol?
No, just Doom Patrol in general.
I've just recently picked up Grant Morrison's Vertigo Doom Patrol. It's pretty weird stuff.
It is. Well, Grant Morrison himself is very odd human, and that's kind of the thing with that.
We have an Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Hello, Andrew. How you doing?
Hey, what up?
Oh,
Hey.
pretty good, man. Now, we're going to be talking to Andrew Huerta here and his book on Indiegogo Sovereign, which is doing pretty well. We're going to get into talking about that a little bit later, but Andrew's come in here and he's going to join us and he's going to get involved in the news and give us his opinion on the topics of the day. I see that Jimmy Ortiz is over here. He says, "What's up, folks? Hello." Thundero says, "Evening, mortals. Well, please, God of Thunder, be kind." Dave is in here and he says, 1963. Nice. Well, yeah, Dave, I've been joining your move the needle type of posts you've been putting in Fanspeak. Those are really cool, dude. I like to see all the nice stuff you're picking up, and Denali's been putting in his weekly hauls as well, which is cool. Always nice to see what people are reading and picking up. I love that idea that came up with the move the needle thing from Richard. I thought that was a great idea, and of course it's very successful as well, which you know it ticks off the exactly right people that need to be ticked off. So it's wonderful. But anyway, Andrew, are you ready? We're going to get into some news here, and you hopefully you have some really great and excellent insight and opinions as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring us over here to let the folks see what we're talking about, and then I'm going to come up here and share it with our panel, of course. So Andrew,
Absolutely.
do you pay attention to what the goings on in the comic book industry, or are you far too busy for that?
I'm in the middle.
I see. All right. Well, let's start this off. Go ahead, Denali.
This
Well,
isn't comic book news at all.
Okay.
No, but it's news that needs to be mentioned.
yes. So, magician, actor, and comedian Ricky Jayes dies at 72. So, you give our condolences. One of his famous, as the title suggests, has been Boogie Nights, but he's also been in other TV shows, movies as well. So he was one of those actors that you don't really pay attention because he's kind of like a supporting, but then you realize, oh right, he's been in all these other movies as well.
He's in a lot of movies, actually. Yeah, he's one of those
Exactly.
guys. He, of course, he was in Deadwood. He was they saying here in X Files, and I remember him being in the X Files actually. But for me, this guy here, what I enjoyed most from him in the past was his his stand-up comedy where he used magic. He was actually pretty funny. He has a real deadpan type of humor to him. I really enjoyed his comedy more than any of his movie stuff. But yeah, Ricky Jay, hopefully you have a peaceful journey, man. So we just want to show a
Absolutely.
little bit of respect to that. But we will move on to actual comic book news here. And DC cancels Batman and the Outsiders, and no one cared. Okay. Anybody here read Batman and the Outsiders? Anybody?
Well, I'm really certain some people cared because Brian Hill was doing apparently quite a good job with the Detective Comics, along with Dexter Soy. What a name!
Unfortunate name, yes.
He's actually pretty good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he is.
That soy guy. Yeah, don't let the name
Well, that's
fool you.
good. But an
Yeah.
unfortunate last name though. So yeah, a lot of people were looking forward to that Batman and the Outsiders. So how dare you, Chester?
I do apologize. Denali, well, actually, I don't apologize, but whatever. Denali, why don't you go ahead and tell
Never
them why they've
apologize.
canceled it? No, I never apologize. No. You tell them why did they say they were canceling it, or do they simply not have an opinion on it?
Oh boy. I think there's two reasons for it, but there's the obvious reason, and then there's the reason because it wasn't doing real good sales. But yeah, it's kind of like they don't really say anything really why they canceled. They're just saying they have to cancel it. It's probably because maybe the storyline wasn't good, or maybe the new changes that they're doing is, they're shifting plans and it happens to be a collateral damage of what's going on because they're moving things behind the scenes and titles that's been moving forward and moving to new storylines and stuff has been changing. So there's a lot of behind the scenes that we're not being privy, but if you look between the lines, there's something going on.
There is
in the next
'cause
future.
we saw a bunch of stuff that was canceled last week, and they're canceling a lot of stuff. And Dave over here in the chat says he blames Bendis. Booster, your opinion on Bendis?
Oh yes,
Bendis.
Okay, but no, I mean, good or bad, DC's doing something. There's definitely something going on in DC, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see where it leads. But this next story here, I think, is far more interesting as far as things that are going on in the industry, and that contact nerd culture. So this is George Lucas might be shooting an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie next year. What?
Yeah,
Hello there.
so basically, the former UK Secretary Boris Johnson, Brian Johnson, was making a speech, I think a couple days ago, or I think yesterday, and he mentioned, that one of the driving forces of entertainment, because a lot of movies are being shot there, is Star Wars. And he mentioned during his speech that an Obi-Wan Kenobi featuring George Lucas directing and being involved with was slipped in there in the speech. I don't think the guy really understood, only that a Star Wars film with Obi-Wan Kenobi was being filmed. If you look at the thing, it was kind of funny. So he might have inadvertently spilled the beans that George Lucas is involved with the Obi-Wan Kenobi project. They said it was done and canceled. And you might either be directing it or might be heavily invested and involved in that thing, which makes sense. Which makes sense because Disney is no fool, and they know about money, and they need the fan back after the whole thing backlash going to happen.
That's true. And of course, Boris Johnson, former mayor of London, he is quite the character. But Andrew, what do you think? Everyone has an opinion on Star Wars, dude. What do you think about a potential George Lucas making a new movie? We haven't seen a movie from him in quite a while.
If he does a movie, it would make it easier for fans to come back, because that's pretty much Disney's way of saying we fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Try to keep the language down a little bit here, dude.
Or we messed up. That's Disney's way of saying we messed up. So that's what it sounds like to me, because I'm not even a big Star Wars fan. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, and I didn't even like the new movies. So that's just to me it's telling me like they're trying to take things back to the way they were without having to kind of make these big wild changes. So it's not like to give all the haters and all this stuff kind of like the ammunition they need. They're just kind of moving some things around to make sure that the next Star Wars movies or next properties make as much money as possible.
Sure.
Without having to please, all the haters or whatever, or the doubters. So it's a good thing. Hopefully, if it does happen, he comes back and he makes the movie and it makes a lot of money, then they're like, okay, you know what? Maybe we just don't know what we're doing. We got to give it to people who do know what they're doing. And it's going to save the franchise again.
Yeah, that's a good thought on it. Are you more of a Star Trek person or a Star Wars, or are you more into other things?
I'm actually cool with both franchises. I just never got I pretty much missed them. I was born in the 80s, so I didn't fall in love to Star Wars the way maybe someone born in the 60s and 70s did.
Yeah.
And I also missed the original Star Trek or that whole thing, but I did like the Next Generation, but I was just too young to really get into it, so I was always deep in Marvel pretty much at that time. So
I see.
I'm just like a comic guy through and through.
Oh, that's cool, man. So you must be loving it now with all these great Marvel movies, huh?
Yeah, the movies are great, but I'm a little nervous with Captain Marvel. So.
Oh, join the club, man. We're all very nervous, but Kevin Feige's done such a good job so far. We kind of have to at least give him a chance,
Yeah, I can't. I really don't. He's like a lot of people were. I know we're getting a little sidetracked, but
that's okay.
I'm very happy that that they're getting X-Men, because he's it's all the movies have been doing good because of him. I mean, I've heard that he's like a real hardcore comic nerd, wants to get it right. So if he's like that, then those two movies are going to be awesome.
Yeah. I'm holding out hope, and of course, Booster. I mean, come on, George Lucas, Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, 2019.
Well, the only thing missing from that magical little blend you got going there is one Ewan McGregor, yes, with his magical little hello there and his just absolute sassiness. You know what I mean?
Well, we know he had showed interest in wanting to do it, so I think he's probably easily on board. But
Get it.
I see we have a new face over here, Robert Willing. He says, "Hey, yeah, well, hello to you." Guys, keep in mind, of course, hitting that like button and subscribing is certainly appreciated. We love all our subscribers, and we're growing every day, and that's awesome. But the thing that helps us the most is hitting that share button and letting all your friends and family know in their extended community that we're over here and have them come over and join us. So please hit that share if you can. All right, guys. Well, let's move on to our next story. And this one, uh, oh, goodness gracious. Denali.
Virtue signaling meet Rachel Slur. Pirates of the Caribbean screenwriter Terry Rossio dragged for racial charge anti-vax tweet. So Julia Benson was talking about anti-vaccine, and he wrote a euphemism saying calling anti-vaccine is like saying calling a person the N-word. Well, you know how people will start eating each other over there.
Oh
It's a bit of
no!
a jump.
It is a bit of a jump. I mean, there. I mean, to be fair, people who are anti-vaxxer do get a lot of flack, kind of like the flat Earth people and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Kind of well deserved, to be honest.
is it though? I mean, in all
Uh,
honesty,
That would be like a slur in a zombie apocalyptic world. Like oh, it's an anti-vaxxer, like some kind of weird, talking down on people who don't get vaccines.
yeah, but I
They
mean,
turn into zombies.
he went way extreme. There is no comparison between the two. But that's not what I
Yeah.
mean. I was just talking about the anti-vaxxer thing, because the simple
Yeah.
fact of the matter, they do have there is evidence to show that they have something to worry about, actually, just like
Yeah.
everything. But for me, I kind of
Oh
chuckle at
no!
all of this. Well, I do. I chuckle at all of this and humans and their truths, because
And here's the
it's
here's the
nonsense.
thing. He
We're
didn't
not going to
even
become an anti-vax versus vaccination stream,
Oh
are we?
no,
Because this
not at
is not
all,
what I
dude.
signed up for.
no,
boys.
Not at all.
no, it's not at all. No, what the sad thing is about it, going back to the article, is he wrote the whole word out, as you can see.
Mhm.
And it's like, really? You couldn't just, you had to choose that exact word for it, but
He wrote the whole word in the tweet.
yes,
Yeah, he
right
did.
there.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's right here.
That's some balls, I gotta say. Jeez,
Man, he does got some.
did he
balls.
not? Did he
Yeah.
not consider the consequences at all? He just thought, no, this will get my point across real well in I.
Yeah. But look at this.
3, 2.
Look at this comment up above. I think this is even more interesting. You have this Laura Lot 89, which I get the joke. Hey everybody. So organizations like UNICEF and whatnot that allow you to buy the kind of gifts where you donate mosquito nets and something in a person's name. Well, a lot of those organizations will let you donate vaccines, as it turns out. Like right now on UNICEF's site, providing 100 polio vaccines to kids in need is $19. And I'm not saying you should buy it and then send a card to an anti-vax relative saying you've provided life-saving vaccinations in their name, but actually that's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, so you're a jagoff, Laura Lot 89. How nice of you. You're so proud of being a jerk. That's nice. Yeah.
Maybe she's like the Renfremus of the vaccine community.
Maybe.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Let's not degrade everybody to her level, please.
Well, that was my point. If they want to believe that vaccinations are troublesome, let them believe what they want. My thing is that we get in this modern world, we point fingers all the time, and it's like, stop pointing fingers, right, at what people believe, right? Because the simple fact of the matter, which I was trying to make earlier, there are no truths. We humans, we're not advanced enough that we have any truths. I mean, think about the simplest little thing, like say the electron, right? We don't even know how that works, but yet electricity is the main driving thing of the modern world. But yet we're going to talk about what we know. We don't know anything. Stop it. Knock it off. I mean, this is just nonsense on top of nonsense, and it's this drama politics, drama world, and it's good for a laugh for us, I guess. So I don't know. Maybe they should keep it up. Anyway, This is another good laugh, Denali.
Mar- Marvel just introduced Captain Hydra and
Oh,
Old Man
God.
Hawkeye, issue 11. So,
Oh, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? We don't want this character.
Now, you know where this is coming from, though, and I haven't heard anybody mention this yet. And you know where this is coming from. You know those mobile games that because Marvel completely abandoned the PC and console games. I mean, we have Spider-Man came out, but that's not coming out of the Marvel or Disney group, right? That's coming out of Sony, and they've abandoned it and they went complete mobile, full mobile, because they can do their microtransactions and make more money. And in those games, they created a lot of anti versions of the characters so you could fight against yourself. It's just kind of a game mechanic, and and this character right here is perfectly looks like one of the ones out of those mobile games. And I think what they did was just they said, "Oh, it works over here. We got to put it in the comic." And I think there was also a little bit of angsty going on in the background as well. But yeah, we don't want this character. We don't want it.
yeah, because it's everything. Let's just move on. Rage will consume us all.
It will. And let's make this one our last one for right now because I want to get into talking about Andrew's book. But this is a
Right.
real good one. Go ahead, Denelli.
So Judge Dredd Owner Rebellion sets up $100 million UK film and TV studio to work out a sequel for Judge Dredd, the 2012, and Rogue Trooper projects. So they're setting up. So we might get a future Judge Dredd sequel.
They've been talking about it
Uh,
for a while, actually. They've been talking about doing Mega City 1, actually,
yes.
and it really looks cool. And the cool thing about it as well, the guy who played Judge Dredd in the movie, which was excellent and horribly underrated. If you haven't seen the most recent Judge Dredd, go see it because that movie is awesome. What's his name?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban. Yeah, he
My
actually
boy
showed
Carl
interest in doing this, and he even talked about he'll
Kiwi, by
take
the way.
less money to do it. What, Booster?
Carl Urban is a Kiwi.
Yes, he's
Yes.
awesome.
We'll acknowledge that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to give them to him.
And-
There's hardly any Kiwis that anybody knows.
Look,
Of course,
there's
there's like
like
25 people in
probably-
the country, so
Yeah, there's like two big actors that Americans probably know, and they don't even know they're Kiwis half the time. Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Is an Australian.
Just how dare you? He was born in New Zealand. It counts.
It doesn't count because he calls himself Australian, dude. You don't get Russell Crowe.
Well,
We'll give you
a
Carl
liar.
Urban. You got Carl Urban. No
Disgusting
Russell Crowe.
Aussies have brainwashed our Russell Crowe.
Andrew, I do apologize. The Kiwi is slightly crazy, but that's the way it is.
It's cool.
I'm passionate about my country.
But,
I know about
sometimes.
Kiwis. One of my favorite rap groups is called Homebrew, and they're Kiwis.
Oh, really?
I haven't heard of it.
That's
They're
cool.
called Homebrew Crew. So check them out.
Homebrew Crew.
God.
Well, here, guys, should check it out. Well, but do you have
definitely
any
sounds
opinion on
Kiwi.
this, Andrew? Do you like Judge Dredd? Did you like the movie? Do you want to see a TV
I
show?
I do like Judge Dredd. I liked both movies for different reasons. I think if I can get a movie that's a mix of both, kind of like something exaggerated, because the first one is very comical and exaggerated, and then the second one was more grounded. So something in the middle would be great for me.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I hope it's good because I really always enjoyed Judge Dredd as far as the comic goes, and I love that Carl Urban movie. That was really well done. All right, guys, let me jump over here to the chat and say hello, and then we'll come right back and we'll start talking about Andrew's book Sovereign. All right, so I see over here we have Kenneth Brown is with us. He says, "Greetings, gentlemen." Well, greetings to you, Kenneth. Nice to see you here.
What up?
Eric,
What up?
yeah, Eric is in here. He says hello. Uh, let's see. He says Dave does these streams work. Da da da. He's inviting others to jump in. Yes, no, I do, Robert. If you want to be on the show, just go over to the links. Go down to the links below. Click on either Facebook or Twitter. Contact me. Tell me you want to be on the show, and I'll get you a seat, dude. Absolutely. That's what we do here. And let's see, we got anybody else in here? Dave Thundaro is being Thundaro, which is awesome. And my sketchbook 340 is in here. Most of the cast that was unknown from Lord of the Rings were Kiwis. Yeah, that's probably true. Because Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie. Cool. All right. Well, let's go over here and let's get right into your book now. Now, Andrew, I've spoken to you before on another channel about your book,
War
and
campaign.
yeah, and we have seen a lot of the cool things you've been doing and getting around talking about it. This book looks really cool. I have seen you on the pro edition of Drone Recorder many times. I'm always the guy that's
Mhm.
down there in the chat, handling the straw polls and doing all the links and that kind of stuff. And
Yes.
so I'm actually quite familiar with your art by now. And I one of the things I had said earlier to the guys is, you have a very distinctive style. A lot of these artists, their style is very fluid, I guess, and they need to be because depending on the job they get. But your style is very distinctive. Now, why did you make a decision to do that? One, and two, I like it.
Cool. Yes. Well, originally I was just the average comic artist, drawing the way you're supposed to. Buff muscles, or buff superheroes, bot women, curvy, just regular traditional comic art style. Um, I, for some reason, I wasn't getting much work. I would get a couple of gigs here and there, like I got IDW, I got Boom Studios, and then I just wasn't getting a lot of work. I just wasn't getting a lot of love. Um, and the problem with never getting consistent work when you're working in mainstream comics is that there's giant gaps where I'm still drawing and I'm still growing. So while I may have drawn this way on this book, maybe 6 months or a year passes, I'm still not on book. But in that middle time, in between then, I'm still growing. Like I'm learning and I'm doing new things. And then there came to a point where, like, you know what? I got really, I don't know what happened. I just got really deep into graffiti. Like I just started caring less about comic books, and I got obsessed with graffiti. I, became obsessed with the culture, started writing, tagging, just all the stuff you're supposed to do. I got in trouble um, a couple times, and then I had to stop doing graffiti. I jumped back to comic books, and before you know it, my style changed because I like brought my graffiti to my comic art, and not a lot of people were feeling it, but then I got other people that were feeling it. So I just decided to be unique. And even though it wasn't getting me work anymore, I'd rather be unique and stick out than just, Stuart Immonen clone number 10 or something. Um,
Yeah, sure.
so yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, cool, dude.
I
Because
respect that, man.
I love it, man. Yeah,
I think it kicks ass. I really do.
yeah, and I love the colorist you got. I don't know who did the coloring for you, but it actually is really good, dude.
Colorist is Joshua Perez. He's an Udon, done a lot of Transformers for IDW.
Oh, okay.
He's an anime fan like myself, so we've worked together for like at least, I don't know how long, maybe 4 or 5 years, 3 years. It's been a while, so he knows what I want now. But in the beginning, I was like, hey man, I love your stuff. I'm really trying to make comic books that look like animes. So yeah, he knows what I want now. So he makes things look like they glow and they're bright and they're, just all this crazy effects. So I have that anime feel and look to them.
I like the
Yeah.
lettering too. Who did that?
I forgot who lettered it. His name escapes me, but yeah, he's also really good. I'm hoping that we can continue working together on when Sovereign, it's the new issue of Sovereign coming out. So I'm hoping I can still get the same letter.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I
it
know.
reminded me from the early '90s and '80 influence of anime from all the coloring in your style.
Y-
I don't know if that was the era you were trying to evoke with.
Yeah. That's every to me. I mean, it's just weird. Like, I sound like an old man. I think everybody does. Like, we always say, like, you know, this was better back then. Everything was better back then. But in like honestly, like anime was better back then, and that's mainly because the money was there. Like, when you look at the production values of like Akira and Ninja Scroll, Mad Hat Studios, the Street Fighter animated movie,
Yeah.
there was like some crazy talent working on these things, feature films. Money was just, and people were buying animes because you had to go to the VHS store. you had to like travel to this hidden warehouse to get what you wanted. Like you had to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, I remember those
Everything
days.
everything cost money. So all these studios were rich and they had the money, the funding to make incredible anime. So and now we have these goofy looking, big eyed, simplified animes because there's no money no more in animation.
This is what I've been saying.
And
well, it's because of all the waifu. They basically are targeting not the whole population, but certain demographic of people.
Crap now, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff I do still like, even though it's simplified. But in general, I can see, and this is a consequence to just a money thing. Like everything's being bootlegged easier. Everything's digital, so you don't have to buy this anymore. Like there's ways around everything, and a lot of these companies are taking hits. Like, and then also the cost of living continues to go up, so they cannot keep up paying super talents a lot of money. So they have to get cheaper talent, and cheaper talent usually ends up being weaker talent. So you see it in comic books, like a Marvel. That's why the comics look the way they do, because they're getting these Tumblr artists. You see it in anime. You see it in many, even like TVs now. Reality shows are the best because they're cheap to make. You no longer have to pay these big salaries to actors and actresses. Yeah, all these things are taking shortcuts to make money, but we suffer because we get weaker product. So,
right.
Well, cool.
I grew up on amazing anime, so I can't help it but to give that to people because that's what I want to see.
Now, Denali, what you said? Wi-Fi foo? What the hell is a Wi-Fi foo?
No,
he's talking about a waifu.
Yeah, waifu.
Huh? What is that?
It's
you're the Japanese expert. What's this? Just
yeah.
Is this a trap you were trying to lay right now?
Yeah, it must be a trap.
About? What trap? We did Akbar last week. What do you guys?
It's a trap.
He's doing a bit, I think.
Yeah, he's doing a bit.
You know the waifu pillows, the guys who watch the current anime with the cutesy crap and the big eyes, and they got the cutesy girls, and they call those girls their waifus.
Oh, you mean the Dutch wives? Dutch wives? See, we already had a name for that. We don't need new names for stuff. Young generation always trying to rename stuff, reword stuff. Outrageous. But anyway, I would be remiss, Andrew, if I didn't come up here and do the kind of standard look at your Indiegogo thing. One, you're making money, so congratulations, dude. And you still got a lot of time left on this. And so good legwork on your part. Now, over here in Fanspeak, we do a lot of things about talking about how to improve the community, try to help, try to organize people. One of the things we do quite a bit of is talking about how to make a good Indiegogo page. And I would say, I think this is a pretty solid page you got going on here. We have your thing up here. Now, it is a video. But still, it's unfortunate that play button is sitting in the middle of your sovereign. But other than that, it is nice to have a picture. You definitely got money going on here. You have a featured section, which is excellent. Good idea. It's well explained. You tell exactly what's going on here, and you have a great bunch of art going on. So I have to say, I think it's a pretty solid page. And one of the things that comes off to me that I like is you've added down here on the bottom the characters, and you show all the different people you have in your book, give them a name, they have a little bit of an intro. I like this, dude. This is a good idea.
I just got to point out, I love the little text you got there. That's very JRPG inspired. I noticed that.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII fans will pick that up real fast.
Yeah.
Well, a Final Fantasy fan would say that 6 was superior, but I'll let 7 slide.
Okay.
I only again, timing. I was too young to get into 6, but I was old enough to witness.
My
7.
man, I am 26, and I played 6, my man.
Did you play 6 first?
I actually played 5 first.
See, I played 7 first.
Because I had the old anthology, so I had 4, 5, and 6. Great games.
Did you guys know that you can actually find my? You guys can actually find my likeness in a Final Fantasy game.
Yes.
No, seriously. In the mid '90s, I'm not sure which number Final Fantasy would be. I've never played Final Fantasy, but one of my best friends I had at that time, He worked for SquareSoft, and he was the
No.
guy who developed all the backgrounds and rooms and details, that kind of guy.
Mm,
And they have like
that's
there's
cool.
some bar, and in that bar there's like a secret room, and on the wall there's a whole bunch of wanted posters, and one of those faces is mine.
And you don't know which Final Fantasy it is.
No, I've seen it. He showed it to me, but I don't know which one it
Oh
is.
my
You
It's
gotta.
like the 96 or 98 or something like that.
Oh, that is insane.
It's
Oh,
kind of
that's cool,
cool, right?
man.
Yeah.
So you're famous.
Not really.
Oh,
But it was just cool. He was just a friend, you know. I mean,
yeah.
if you're friends with
Yeah.
those programmers, they do that kind of Easter egg stuff all the time, right? Comic artists do too, I've noticed. So what kind of Easter eggs do
Yeah.
you have in here?
What was that?
I said, what kind of Easter eggs have you hidden in here of your friends or things like that?
Oh, Easter eggs. If I do Easter eggs, it'll be very subtle.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do have some characters that are probably like based off of friends or something, but I do it subtle enough to where you may not notice it. But yeah, there's always Easter eggs, but we'll see what happens.
Cool. Well, Denali, I know you have questions about page layout or what have you. Why don't you go ahead?
Well, I see that you have a feature perk, which is pretty good. I think a lot of people miss that when they're doing that. And I also see a digital cover. Does your feature also include digital if they get a physical copy, or is that something separate that they have to
Yeah, that's
pay?
something that I missed. I messed up, and it sucks. I can't go back. But basically, each perk builds up on builds off of each other. So if you get that the average perk, which is $25, you get the book, and you'll also get a digital copy.
Okay.
So yeah, it just builds up. Like the next one is you get book and print, and you get the digital. It just keeps building up. But yeah, I forgot to include that little info in there.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
And
Yeah.
But I figured it would be kind of like, I don't know, because at the end, the rest were building up. So I think getting a digital copy, if you get the physical, it should be like a must. Like it's going to happen, So.
Well, I only asked because there's been a few projects where they have it separate, and the project manager said no, there's no digital copies included.
Yeah,
that's why I asked.
I honestly don't understand that, because the whole thing with, the thing with people just buying digital is they don't have the money. They only have like $6 or whatever it is. They want to read my story, they just don't have the money. People who can afford the physical copy, I see no problem in them also getting a digital. They probably don't even care, but why not?
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. And I know we're going a little bit backwards here, but could you please give us the elevator pitch so we understand exactly what Sovereign is?
Okay, yeah. Sovereign is, let's see here, elevator pitch. Okay, it's basically I'm just gonna say it how I like to describe it to my friends, because they don't know anything about comic books and stuff. So I loved Captain Planet, and I love The Matrix.
Wow, and you admit that. All right, awesome.
Yeah. I don't love Captain Planet, he's my favorite superhero, but I like the idea of him. And he's only corny and cheesy because it was a kid's show.
That's true. Yeah.
So the way I put it is if Captain Planet was, Martin Luther King, then Sovereign would be Malcolm X. And
all right then.
So he's basically the extreme version of Captain Planet, a real take on Captain Planet, because Captain Planet doesn't like people polluting the earth and damaging the planet and all that stuff. But he loves humans. He protects the Planeteers, all that stuff. Well, who are the biggest polluters on Earth?
Kiwis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Sovereign's going after New Zealand hard.
Yeah. All right. I don't like this story. You've lost to me, but maybe you might really get Australia though. They might love it.
Yeah. So he basically humans.
Yeah, sure, of course.
He's just a weapon.
Sovereign is just literally, he is the, I'll say it right now, he is like the reset button. He's only comes out when the Earth is in trouble or where something has to happen. Um, and at this point in time, it's the year 2516, like 500 years into the future. Everything's been destroyed because we created artificial intelligence. This is where the Matrix angle kind of comes in. Uh, these machines have been created and they've taken over, they've killed half of humanity and enslaved maybe like the other half, but like maybe there's 10. But they've just dominated the world, and they're draining the life force of the planet for their own need. They need the Earth's. In my story, the Earth is like alive. It has like this energy, this life force, and the machines are draining it so they can live. And they're just kind of this almost like a metaphor for just the way we live. We're just killing the planet for our own purpose. So he goes after the he's awakened to go after the machines. And then that's where the big adventure comes. That's where we meet other heroes, other characters, because no one has been able to do anything to the machines for 500 years. They're just too strong. Only Sovereign's strong enough to do anything. But the problem is, he's just one guy or one creature, or whatever you want to call him. He's not like One Punch Man. He can't kill you with one punch. But he needs help too, because there's literally a giant army, horde, race, whatever, of these artificial intelligent machines. So the other heroes, other characters, to bring down this, new race of artificial intelligent machines. And after that story is over, after they win or whatever happens, then we'll see if he goes after humans next.
I see. Well, that sounds very interesting. So he's not necessarily the hero of humanity. He's the hero of the earth. I get it.
Yeah.
And I also
Yeah.
noticed you put a bunch of little, you got some katakana right here on below Sovereign, and I've also noticed you put some Japanese, or try to work some Japanese into some of these names down here. Now, that's just the anime connection, and how did you source your Japanese?
Yeah, I just basically liked the there are certain, I'm also a big fan of video games.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of we got a lot of all our games basically came from Japan, 80s and 90s. And so some imports, whatever, would have them in English, and then they would also have them in Japanese, like maybe in the background of the title or in the title. Like they'll work a Japanese little version of it in the game logo somewhere. So that's where I got the idea for the Sovereign title.
I see.
Yeah, like I was trying to channel that 80s, 90s arcade, Capcom, just retro video game feel. So I did that for that reason. And also I do love Japanese anime culture. It's just me paying respect to what created me in a way. And
So-
where I got the Japanese from, I don't know. I think I Google translate it. I'm not even sure if it's right. We'll see. So
Okay. And what do you think that this Japanese says?
supposedly it says Sovereign, but if it doesn't, I'll have it fixed.
Okay. Talk to me later.
All
I've
right.
lived in Japan for 16 years.
I think I asked around.
You
but,
told me 20.
It's hard, dude. Like some other. All right, go on. Sorry.
No, that's it. I love the idea, though. I love the idea. It is very cool. And you have these characters here. You got Sovereign. We got Subject 15, man. What? Tell us about this character.
Yeah, that font is not good. Everyone thinks it's 15, but it's Subject 13. But
Yeah, no, you'll have to change that.
Yeah, I definitely read 15 as well. Yeah.
But yeah,
anyway.
Subject 13 is basically the one character that will keep the story grounded. Because there's a lot of crazy characters and beings, and people just can't connect with people like that. So he's just this little 8-year-old slave boy that's been enslaved by the machines. He hurts. I mean, he was raised in this environment. Like he doesn't know what he's kind of like that spunky character that doesn't get it. Like all the other slaves
stay in line. They don't ever talk back. But this is the one kid that just kind of he can't help it, and he's been looking for unique, and uniques in the sovereign world are based beings.
Yeah.
But there's no unique out there that can fight the machines. They're just too strong. So our story starts with like we find Subject 13, you know, doing what they do, slaves, building things and following orders. And he like, this is where he kind of meets Sovereign, because Sovereign wakes up. Sovereign senses a disturbance on the planet, literally flies. He awakens from this volcano. He flies at it, and that's the first fight scene. He fights these machines, and in this crazy fight, Subject 13 is like hooting and hollering, jumping. Just oh my god, like this is the guy that's gonna save us. This is the guy. So they become like a little. It's almost like God of War, where you know it's like Kratos and his son. That's kind of the relationship I wanted to, or maybe even the T-1000 or T-100 and John Connor in Terminator 2.
I see. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I really like that father son angle, but where the big figure is like this guy that doesn't talk much and he's powerful, and the kid who does all the talking and he's just very charming and funny, and so that's what Subject 13 is.
Cool. And I'm not. We're not going to go through all of them, but I
Right,
just I like the idea that what point I'm trying to make is he's got these characters detailed out, and it's really cool. I like the idea of that. I haven't seen many people do that. I think it's cool.
Well, I think it's because in the other books or other projects, I'm just assuming here, but I made I'm like a little hardcore when it comes to character design. So meaning each of these characters that I design, in my opinion, in my philosophy, they should be able to hold up their own comic books. Like they should be able to be just as strong and interesting and iconic as Sovereign or whoever else, you know? So, you know, characters like Aztec and Hubal and Massive, they can literally be their own characters in their own universe or comic, whatever. So they're big. They're not just like supporting cast. They're huge characters. Imagine if like, you know, this is Iron Man and Thor and Captain America teaming up to take down whatever. This is similar. Like these guys are big in this universe, so that's how I treat them.
No, that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, because if like the book takes off and you know I keep people keep backing and it gets bigger and bigger, then people are like, yeah, well, we love Aztec. Then maybe I can do a one shot of Aztec or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Well, Janelle, you got any more questions here for Andrew?
No, not at this time. I mean, everything looks solid. I see that this is going to be 48 pages. Let me see. I see that one of your stretch goal, if you reach 30,000, is going to add more pages. So 20,000 will be 64 and 30,000 will be 72. So that's always a good sign. You know, you're confident of your work that you'll reach there. And you're roughly about $6,000 away from the 20,000. So, you know, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to that. I think I will. I'm hoping to get to that 20K. I just really want to just keep building, you know. I just wanted to just give people comic books that are different and interesting, because it's the industry, like we're hurting. I mean, I'm a fan too, and I'm not reading anything. Like I just maybe read one or two books, and it shouldn't be that way.
That's true.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm not reading a lot either, and a lot of stuff I'm reading is from the past. I'm rereading stuff. That's absolutely a good point. It's
Yeah.
it's not good. But anyway, um, what I do want to do is you do have 21 days left on this, and I've one of the things I've noticed because we've been talking about this a long time over here, and about doing the legwork, getting out there, doing the marketing and stuff. And as we can see here, guys, he's already up to $14,422 with 21 days left. It's a good looking project. He's got price ranges in here that I think could accommodate everybody. So if you haven't backed it, go check it out and certainly support him. It's a great looking book. It's well involved. But my question is, I've noticed you going around and doing that legwork and being on people's channel like you are right now and talking to the community. And how many more places you got set up to go to, man?
I usually, I mean, some people like reach out to me and ask me to get on streams. So, but the ones I just, I like going on streams where I'm kind of familiar with them and I'm cool with them. And so basically, like Ethan's stream,
Yep.
Ethan Van Sciver's stream. I'll go on Donald DeLay's stream if I can, do War Campaign. So I try to keep it Comicsgate. Well, those are the only ones that kind of invite me. So I'm a big fan of like loyalty and stuff. So I try to keep it in the family, quote unquote, you know.
Sure.
Because the other, you know, there's no interviews, there's no streams from the other side of the comic book industry. They just we're banished, you know.
Oh, of
so
course.
It's like
of course, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, if even you guys, you know, if someone else has another stream that's Comicsgate, hell yeah, like I'll do it. I want to help build up their channel. I want them to help build up Sovereign. So I feel like we just basically all gotta help each other out because we are kind of on our own, you know, boat here, you know, our own little island, and we got to build it. We got to make it bigger.
Well, that is absolutely true, man, and we are doing our best every day here to try to encourage that. And I just wanted to congratulate you on the success you've had so far, and I know this will grow. And it's really cool that you're out there getting on Ethan's stream, getting on Mike's stream, getting on Drone and Quartered, doing those kind of things. So that's what you need to do. And I imagine by the end of these 21 days, you're going to be quite exhausted, if not already.
Yeah. And you know what?
If not,
I'll be exhausted, and it hasn't even really started yet because I still got to draw the book.
Oh, that's
oh
true.
wow.
That is true. But now, what do you have? Now, this book right here, this is 48 pages, one shot, but it's part one of three that you're saying. So
Yeah.
you have at least three more, I mean, excuse me, two more books planned for this. Do you have other projects in the works you want to talk about or that you were thinking about, or are you just concentrating on Sovereign 100%?
Sovereign is 100%. I mean, it's so epic that I feel like I feel like it would just be like disrespecting like the whole idea of Sovereign because it's huge. It's like imagine if there was you created a Lord of the Rings universe, and then I honestly would kind of not trust the creator, maybe like, or not even trust, but like feel like they have that passion like I thought they would because it's so huge that you don't want to jump on another one on a different thing completely, and then try to come back and juggle this monster again. Um, that's how I do it. That's how I see it because it's just so big. I feel like I have to be 100% in to do it right. There's just so many characters. It's so many. It's like I even have a world map. I probably should have added
Sweet.
it on the Indiegogo page, but I wanted to keep things simple. But yeah, there's a world map. There's like locations. There's different types of like those artificial intelligent machines. There's different characters within that. They're not just all like sentinels or like maybe the xenomorphs. They're not all like just mindless drones, whatever. They're like different. So it's like literally I'm creating a whole new world, and that's exhausting. And I can't really jump on anything else besides Sovereign.
No, very good. That's the correct answer, by the way.
Yeah.
If do you have that map? You want to bring it up and share it with us right now? Because I love maps.
I don't know how I'm gonna find it right now. I would
That's
have.
okay,
I don't
dude.
know. Yeah.
But if you feel so inclined to send me a map, I would love to look at it. And I'll show it to the people
Yeah.
too, if you want to do that later.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I love that kind of stuff. And the project looks really cool, dude. I do actually love your style. It's very stylistic and it's cool looking. But I am a child of the 70s and 80s, so it's certainly something that strikes a chord with me. But I think it's going really well. You guys have anything else you want to say to Andrew?
Well,
Well, you guys did on.
okay. I'll move ahead, Booster, and I was going to say we talk about a lot of our streams about the bad points or the things that the campaign is lacking. But I guess we're safe to say that your campaign is actually one of the few ones that are firing off in all cylinders, and
Yeah.
actually it's exciting to kind of look even deeper to kind of purchase, your products. So I think the only other thing I could suggest is having those little pictures, of included on those like a little overhead picture on those. But
Yeah.
otherwise, everything else looks fantastic. That this
Well,
is
thank you.
exciting.
It is
Yeah.
exciting. It looks really good, dude. And of course, Thundero, if you could do us a favor and please drop that link in there, which I notice you're doing anyway. So thank you, Thundero. He is a very professional wrench. Excellent. Booster, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you plan on going on in demand.
Mm.
I've been going back and forth on this, but right now I think I'm gonna close it.
Oh, see, I think you shouldn't, because say there's a wee boy in New Zealand who couldn't really afford it right now, but maybe could afford it down the line after the 3 week mark. So if you wanted to keep it in
Well,
demand,
it's just
I'm
that
sure
like
that boy in New Zealand would be greatly appreciative.
right. No, yeah. Well, the thing is, I want it. Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. That's a tough. This is like probably the toughest decision because I know Ethan closed it. Jawbreakers closed. Some of the other ones closed, and they're. I get what they're doing. I like it. Like they're trying to keep it exclusive. Like you have to back this now. But the other thing they're going to do though is that let's say if I missed out on Jawbreakers, I missed out on Cyberfrog, I missed out. Well, I got Graveyard Shift, but I missed out on those two. When they do the sequel, Indiegogo, or the next book for the next campaign, they're going to include the first book.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Again. So you won't miss out unless, you're backing these Indiegogo. And then they even said by the third book, they're going to include the first two. So, or you can purchase the first two with the third book. So they'll get people like me. Like if I missed it, I'll have a chance to get it again. But yeah, I don't know. Like I do get when people have them, get the money, they want to buy it, but I don't know. Like I just kind of want to make it special for backers. I don't know how to explain it, but
No,
yeah,
I
that's the
get
tough
you.
one I have to figure out.
I get
All
you.
right, I guess I'll back it as soon as I can then.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm not trying to force you. I don't want to do that, but
yeah.
just let you guys know if you miss it this time around, if I decide to not have it shop open, whatever, if I decide to keep it closed, when I do the sequel campaign or for the next book, I will include the first book. Like you're not gonna miss it if you keep following the Indiegogos. But fund all the Indiegogos, and then you just happen to miss all of them, then you're kind of like either tough out of luck or you have to buy them on eBay or something.
Well, now that brings up a good question from the chat, though, from Tank Ferret here, who is a fellow artist. He says, "When is the estimated broad market release date? Meaning, are you going to do something with have a publication in through distribution in Black Diamond, or are you going to go through one of these companies like Antarctic or Alterna or something like that?"
Okay. Yeah, I've thought about that too. If I do end up having Sovereign, going through a distributor and then coming out in shops, it will be a more simplistic, minimalized version of the Indiegogo version, because this one needs to be, the reason it costs more is because it's signed. It has, the backup, like the extra content. It's like, you're getting what you're paid for. So I
Sure.
cannot do that with the shop version because that just wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, no, that's pretty standard anyway.
Yeah, and I'm even debating if it should even be like black and white, the shop version. Like just to keep it, you still get the story, you still get my art, or it would just be gray tones. But it's like I really want to keep the Indiegogo special and for backers. So if I do go through,
I would suggest not doing that, dude. The coloring is really good, dude. Don't.
No, I know. I'm just saying I don't even know if I'm gonna do distribution, but I have to again talk about it with like a few people, and really we're all clueless. We're just
Yeah.
figuring it out. We're
Yeah,
trying to
you're
see
right.
what's the best way to do it, and we want to please shops, the fans. Like, love comic books. You know, we're not trying to be like, oh, this is my money and my book, and then screw you, whatever. Like, we don't want to be like those
No.
mainstream creators that just are super selfish.
Yeah.
Find the right plan to do the best we can.
All right, dude. Well, keep
Right.
working on it and keep us up to date on what's going on because we definitely like this project over here. We think it's really cool, and we know a lot of people do as well. Keep getting on those channels, keep doing the drawing recorder, keep doing it, and this thing will grow and grow and grow.
Yep.
I do want to say hello to Rizey Lee and Primark Sanguinius. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you over here. Tank Fair, of course, is in here, as well as Manny from Good Dog Press and everybody else that I may have missed. Thank you very much for coming on today. We're going to be going ahead and finishing up our show today. So why don't you go ahead, Andrew, and give your last comments to the chat, please.
Hey guys, yeah. Thank you for being on and listening to me. It's my passion. Seriously, the project I only want to work on. So yeah, if you haven't, check it out on Indiegogo. It's called Sovereign. It's my love letter to 80s and 90s anime, love letter to 80s and 90s comic books, video games, all that stuff I love, action movies. Just cool entertainment, just fun stuff. So yeah, it's live on Indiegogo. If you haven't backed it yet, check it out, consider it, and if you can't, share it and just keep talking about it because I want everybody to know about it. And yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter at Andrew Huerta 93, and I'm also on Instagram at The Huerta.
Excellent, man. Thank you very much. And yeah, guys, this project looks really great. It's very exciting. I think you should definitely go check it out. Thundero has put the link right there in the chat, easy for you to get to and find. So get over there and support Andrew because I think it's a good looking book and he's doing it right. He's doing what we've been suggesting all along. So it's really cool to see a project coming together like this. It's exciting, And all right, Booster, you have any kind of obscure or non-drunk comments you'd like to make before we let Denali take us out?
I'm not even drunk today, bro.
Well, why not?
Because I can't get drunk every day and start to look bad, mate.
All right, then.
I believe that's for Denali to take us out now. Huh?
Please.
All right. So we'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for more comics news today. We'll be doing Doom Patrol, the original run from 1963, issue 121, for those who want to follow along and read with us. We'll be doing that issue. And I'll just say, if you do decide, Andrew, to go with the shop version, I think you won't lose anything, even if you do great tones or anything, because it's all about telling the stories, and it will probably give incentive for people to find you on Indiegogo for the next issue as well. So you may want to think of that way. It's all about getting the story about and showing, hey, if you like this as this is, well, get the upgraded version at Indiegogo kind of deal. But otherwise, you can also catch us on Fanspeak Friday at 8 p.m. We'll have Johnny Allen, the creator of Stickman, as our guest that day. And then we have Drawn and Quarter Fan Edition at 8 p.m. Thursday. We are still pending a host, but we'll let you know about that time. And as always, you can follow me at Denali101, or if you like positive vibes and message, you can follow me at Denali Llama, where I'm just posting once a day on there. As always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
All right, guys. Later.
Later.